Welcome back to another episode of Out Loud Geek, where we discuss news and views about pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, food, cooking, the outdoors, and more. Today, I'm presenting another taste of spring 2023, because there are more plants blooming and we have some young seedlings. It's been a while since I've been able to come out here to do a video because there's been so much rain, but today we finally have a break. And I wanted to start this video off by showing our one and only yellow daffodil. We didn't get any yellow daffodils last year. We have one this year. So this is the one that I showed in my previous outdoors video that was just a bloom and a long stalk. Well, it finally opened up and it's quite a nice yellow daffodil. There's a close-up of it. But it is our one and only yellow daffodil out of the bunch. And this is all mixed in with tulips that are still on coming up. This daffodil flower I showed last time, and it's starting to wither a little bit. Coming along. That one's starting to wither too, so I won't show that one. This one is still looking somewhat fresh. Opened up a little bit more. And down here, here's one that is still sticking down quite a bit because it got battered so much by the rain. So I'll prop it up a little bit. Nah, doesn't want to. But there's this one. That's what all the rain damage caused. And then here are the ones that I showed that were the two that were a pair growing side by side. One of them opened up very nicely. The other one, not so much. Not sure why, it just didn't do well. But then we got very excited. We have a tulip bloom coming up. And then there's another tulip bloom coming up right there. Maybe hard to see, but it's just right there. Try and get my finger out of the way. So we actually are going to have tulips, and we have another tulip that's about to open right over here. So not sure when this one's going to open up, but it is doing really well, so I will definitely have to get some video of that when it opens up. And up here is the sedum. It's getting bigger slowly. It doesn't grow super fast, but it's coming up. And we have some grape hyacinth that has opened up. There is grape hyacinth basically kind of all around the yard. So occasionally it will just pop up somewhere. Like here's one right here that opened up, a small one, next to this plant that I still haven't figured out what it is yet, but it's coming up, so once it starts putting out some flowers, I'll be able to better identify it. This is the other sedum that is growing very nicely. Can't wait to see this when it gets bigger. The leaves on this large hydrangea are slowly getting bigger, and we were a little worried about our other hydrangea because it looked like it was pretty much dead until I looked way down here, and it's a little hard to spot, but way down here, buried between these old stalks, right here is hydrangea that's coming up from the root. So very happy that this hydrangea survived. And look at how big these hostas are getting. Wow, they're really growing. They love this pot. They love all the rain we've been getting. So these things are growing incredibly fast. It's really amazing just how quickly they're growing. And in one little corner of the yard, we have a ton of grape hyacinth that has come up. This is kind of this is the area where most of them seem to be. They're all very happy. I'll zoom in on these little flowers as they come up. They only come up at this time of year. They don't last very long. Maybe a couple of weeks at most, and that's about it. Some of them are down here, growing nicely. There's quite a few of them along here. There's a really nice one that's more opened up right there. And some more down here, more over here, more over here. This is basically underneath the lilac, is where most of these grape hyacinths are. And as you can see, the lilac is definitely putting out a lot of growth. It's still going to be quite a while before it actually starts putting out flowers. That's still many weeks away before we see any flowers on these plants. And here is our camellia plant, and it is just covered in blossoms. It really does put out some very beautiful blossoms. There's an trying to zoom in on one, but I'm not getting the camera in the right spot. There it is. There's a really big one. There's another big one. Here's a big one that's hidden by a branch that I will move out of the way. But as you can see, this thing just is covered with blossoms, and the blossoms fall off fairly quickly too. It's been kind of windy, so the wind may be blowing some of them off, but these are probably ones that opened up very early on. But this isn't done blooming. It still has blossoms that haven't even opened up yet, so we still have a lot more camellia buds that are going to be opening up. It's really amazing just how many this plant puts out. This is one of our favorite plants because it gets covered with blossoms. Just covered. Now here is one of our big rhododendrons, and it appears to be covered in buds. So I think it will have a lot of flowers this year. This generally has a lot of flowers, and this particular one is always covered with red flowers. So I'm anticipating it'll have quite a few. Now this rhododendron always tends to look a little sickly because it has this yellowish tint to its leaves. But it's always growing, and it just appears to be part of what it does. But it does too have some blossoms forming. And when this particular one blooms, it actually puts out very pale lavender flowers, which I will show when they open up. And this rhododendron is also getting covered with buds for new blossoms. This one up here, I believe, puts out red ones, but there's also some really deep purple ones that are growing up in this too. Now I've got something else that's very interesting to share. And the reason that this is all kind of pink is because these are grow lights. So we started all of these little plants in seedling planters that include plastic covers to keep the moisture in, that are like little biodomes. And we've got quite a few. Most of these are vegetables. So there are 2 rows of acorn squash growing, followed by 2 rows of loofah squash growing next to those. And down here is cucumbers. And in the middle, though it doesn't look like there's much growing there, it's very hard to see these little things. There's actually little bee balm plants growing in there, and they grow very slowly. And over here are some nasturtiums. And then we have several varieties of tomato plants. And these are all going to be going outside. We have some special beds set up just for these vegetables. And there's a third one here, but I won't disturb it because it still has a long way to go. Now what's interesting here is that this is actually a heating pad right here. And this is specifically to put seedlings on to help the seeds germinate. And these things are just going crazy down here. They love these grow lights. They're doing really well. So I can't wait to get these out and see them growing outside. These are the planter boxes we put in that all of the little vegetable plants are going to be going into. This is really good soil. It's got lots of fertilizer in it, so we fully expect these things are going to do really, really well out here. And here's a new sighting of our resident bunny rabbit eating some seeds next to some of our resident squirrels that I put food out for. It's not easy to see the bunny in this shot, so I'll zoom in because it was behind the railing from this angle. Unfortunately, this was the best angle that I could get from inside, as I can't video the bunny while outside because it's extremely skittish and easily startled.
Much more so than the squirrels are, and the squirrels are often out when we're outside. And in fact, something did startle the bunny as I was filming and it ran off, but the squirrels didn't. Thanks for watching today, and a huge thanks to everyone who has subscribed to our channel. We appreciate your support. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button, and please feel free to share a comment. If you'd like to see more of our videos in the future and help support this channel, please press the red subscribe button, and please press the bell to receive notifications for new content. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter by clicking on the links in the description. Until next time, this is Out Loud Geek.